Weddings and war. Wait, let me take my hair down.
Yeah,
let me get relax
to
the
war.
voltage.
No one's going to war.
We're not going to war. It's going to be 1812. We are going to war.
Carmen is speed running war.
No, because Carmen is not the firstborn, so he will not be drafted. So
I don't think that matters.
Damien is at the head of the crown, so he's indisposed. So Carmen is absolutely getting drafted.
Well, Damien's not, because Damien retired because he was upset and got stabbed. And
he retired, but does that count as like him having done his service or whatever? Has he done his time?
You know what? Find out.
I mean, I feel like
That's what we're doing today.
Well, I know who he's friends with.
Damien served his however many years with the crown. He's fine, actually. Now it's Carmen's time.
Yeah, he has friends now.
1 week with the crown.
With 1 fucking week, that doesn't count.
Listen, with this crown, that's fucking enough, okay?
Pepita?
Get out of here!
Let
Pepita. Not allowed downstairs.
She's not allowed. She thought she could sneak. I was like,
let
what
her
is this
cook.
Creature crawling
So
around.
little.
She's such a good girl. We love her.
I'm sorry to yell.
She
startled me.
You even considered.
The problem is she goes straight for the basement. Why?
Because that's where the fun is.
That's where you are.
Why are you keeping her from what she wants?
I'm not. She didn't even look at me. She walked right past me and she was like, "Let me just."
She didn't want to fight. She didn't want to do it.
She just says. Cass says Carmen would have been drafted because he's the second son. The first son, they didn't want drafted.
Doesn't the first son get drafted? Come on,
the first son has to carry on the household name, right?
Not for the period, apparently.
What if Carmen is pregnant?
Oh,
can't get drafted again. Can't get drafted again.
Yeah. That's not a way to describe possession, Raph.
Is Carmen boy
Carmen is not with Carmen is with Demon.
He can't start his with Demon.
Listen,
giving birth is now, but right now he's with Demon.
Yeah,
I'm expecting an announcement from Rhiannon and Carmen.
I don't think I could emotionally handle it if that's how that was handled.
Oh no, we can't go to France. Oh wait, we're alternate history. We can do what we want.
We can go wherever we want.
Why do you want to go to
France?
France?
Napoleonic Wars. I was like, wait, we can't go there.
You want to do war? Hey, what if we did a little war? Let's be bad.
What if we caused international problems?
I already did the
instead
war.
of just local problems?
Wait, I was like, wait, are we already causing wars right now? Come on.
Yeah, that was Octavia.
Yeah, Ellie did cause
ran
war
the
and we
war
ended a
circuit.
war, so I think we're even at this point,
That's true.
right?
Also, I will not
That's
be going
how
to
it
war.
works. Yep.
If you win a war in the span of a month, did it even happen?
Yes. What? Yes.
Oh, okay. You're right. I can't take that
I
win
was
from
going
you.
to be like, that depends on the body count, but...
It was like 3.
Body count 1. Was it 3?
Well, it depends on what of all of that you consider the war.
Confirm.
Let's see.
Because if you consider like Renard and
died twice, that's 2 casualties.
does that count this too?
That was so rad. Holy shit, that was so good.
Carmen and
forgot about
Damien
that shit.
Abigail
both died
neutralized
as
that
part of
threat
this war.
immediately.
Okay, picture this.
That's 4.
Reynard came
Picturing
back.
Sicily, 1927.
And spoilers, Reynard came back and died. Carmen has no idea. Carmen did not know that happened. Carmen has been living a peaceful life.
Does Carmen not even know that he died?
That Reynard
No,
died?
Carmen knows he
Yeah,
died
that was-
originally.
Yeah, I know.
but you don't know
he
that he
knows
was
died. Nope.
Yeah, but
He was at
doesn't.
the
Carmen
funeral.
doesn't know that Reynard came back and then died a second
And
time.
then died again.
Was that public knowledge?
No.
After the fact.
No.
Oh, so Brandon don't even know.
That's why the
Just
coup
saying.
worked.
We're having a peaceful life out on our little estate.
Are we?
Building our little
Are we?
projects, exercising a little guts.
Are we?
We're just vibing.
Yeah.
We're hanging. We're
just
chilling.
here for vibes.
Guinevere
We're
and
here
Octavia
for
were the only
romantic
2
vibes.
survivors of that war, I think.
Who is
aside
tagging
from
me?
Carmen.
Oh, that's me.
Oh. Violet Crumble? What the
Octavia's a war veteran.
That's what I was thinking about.
What? I've had neither of these, to be totally fair with you. I'm not a big Cadbury person. Okay, here's the question and all question. I'm sorry to keep
I thought we
derailing.
weren't starting wars today.
Oh no, this is the question and all questions. Don't answer immediately. truly think about this. Truly sit and ponder and be aware of that your response affects our friendship, okay? Okay? Do you all like Cadbury cream eggs? Now wait! Think about it. Sit on it. And then when you're positively ready, give me your response. Go ahead, Keith.
You're valid if you enjoy them, but you're not me.
Okay. JT?
I could never.
I've never had them.
Okay. I'm waiting for everybody to respond before I pass a judgment.
I loved them before they changed the recipe. Now I only eat the caramel ones.
They evoke a sense of nostalgia for me.
That's not an answer.
Are they good? Hey, JD, are they good, though?
Politician's answer.
Do you enjoy the taste?
Okay, but like that's hard because they evoke a sense of nostalgia for me.
Sorry,
that doesn't mean
the answer is yes, he likes them.
Will you seek them out?
I will.
If
friendship,
like,
the answer is yes.
Friendship ended with JD.
Whoa! Oh my god!
Hey, consider. Hey, everybody, ladies, you're both beautiful. If JD enjoys them, that's more Cadbury cream eggs for JD, and you don't have to eat them.
That's right. I can
now
eat them for
that's
you.
a fucking thought.
We split the
Okay.
multi-packs in this household. God damn it! We don't have to like the same thing. Sometimes it's better if we don't.
And that's fact. Okay, you're back in.
I'm available for relationship therapy.
JD, you're back in.
Friendship
back. Friendship restored. Cool. Yeah, no, they're fucking nasty. I don't know. I don't like them.
That's
Steph was right about the recipe changing.
They changed the recipe.
That's why it's the nostalgia where I'm like, this used to be good. I used to enjoy this.
But now it's garbage.
Now I pretend.
Now I pretend. Now I suffer through the egg.
Now we reminisce about what they could have been.
We suffer through the egg.
Sometimes you have to suffer for the egg.
Sometimes
hey,
you
Raph,
have
if it makes
to
you feel
suffer
better,
for the egg.
Technically, our game takes place before Cadbury existed. They didn't found until 1824.
Thank fucking God, Jesus Christ.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we could be happy doesn't exist at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It's like a long list.
I don't think you can cross yourself like that anymore.
Suddenly I'm feeling really hot. Like, I feel like I'm on fire.
They actually cross yourselves upside down. You just can't tell. I actually reversed the camera, so you can see I crossed.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, thank you. Just like animate my hand. It's fine. It's fine.
You cross yourself, but also your fingers are crossed, so it's different.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so it's an inverse.
I tricked you.
A double cross. How fitting.
Actually, I can't even do that because God is dead apparently in this game and canonically.
And
no?
God
is that not true?
Canonically dead in this game? What are you saying?
You do that?
Raph, I want you to, for 2 seconds,
Carmen, what did you do?
Listen to what you just
Carmen.
said.
Hey, Carmen, what are you not telling us?
Did you kill God?
Are you sure? You seem to be the only bitch who knows that God's dead. So
it was all Dorian. It wasn't me. I'm innocent.
You didn't see a confirmed kill. You didn't see a body.
No body, no crime, Sean.
We didn't double tap. Shit.
No body, no crime. Okay, fair enough. Fine. Anyway,
should have double tapped.
Raph dies of heat stroke, just continually crossing their chest.
Raph, please no.
Listen, I don't know what I was going to say to that. That was my way of being like, JD, take the reins. Yeah. I was like, I'm a fade to black.
I was waiting for JD.
JD got
yeah, we're doing a show here today.
Listen, it's only been like 10 minutes since we went officially live, so that's not bad for us.
We have time then.
We got like
so
4
let's talk
hours.
about the next. I got a list of topics.
But I will jump in. I will stop Raph. I will save them from themselves. Hi. If somehow you have stumbled upon this chaos and stayed, we are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and good causes. Currently, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders to support the very needed work that they are doing in Gaza and other places that are experiencing atrocities currently. And so at any point during the stream, we ask that rather than subscribe, rather than give us bits or any of that cryptocurrency, you take whatever you would have put towards us that way and you put it towards the donate button, which you can find where the subscribe button would usually be. We have hidden that, replaced it with donate, and at any point you can hit that, or you can tap !donate in the chat and use those as links to put that money towards a good cause. We cannot remove the subscribe button, though we did hide it. If you find it, and you will be seeking it at your own peril, just be warned that for every month you are subscribed to us, Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog. We ask that, therefore, you do not do that. So if you have, say, an Amazon Prime sub that you want to throw our way, we will not say no to that. Money that comes through that way goes primarily towards keeping the lights on, but more often towards character art and things like that we commission artists for our ongoing series. I think that is all that I need to say for this part of the intro, which means it is time to let my cast introduce themselves as we dive into our third episode of the Saturday Table of a third season of Secrets and Shadows, our Regency-flavored Monsterhearts game, with all of the chaos that comes along with this. And for those of you keeping track at home, this is technically the penultimate episode of this table. Technically. We're going to see what happens.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah, maybe we'll bully JD into something else.
Maybe you will.
Get in the comments, y'all.
You bullied me into extending the first season, having a second season, and having a third season, so it's possible. But with that, I am going to ask my cast to go around, introduce themselves, who they are playing, and their characters. I always want to say current playbook, but like this table's actually pretty normal on that front. All in all, pretty normal. Normal being a subjective term.
Normal.
But with that,
normal.
Kit, you are up first.
It's me. Hi, I'm Kit. You can find me most places on the internet at Kit Roll. Tonight I will be, as always, Elise Clarendon, who is. Oh, we can cut the shit. She's the vampire. Darkest self. We're leaning into it. We're making it happen. I know, shock, surprise, right?
Darkest Self, and you've been Darkest Self for
all season, baby.
Yep.
4 episodes and running. Can it last all season? Maybe.
Yeah, find out in RP, right? It's not a threat when I say it that way, I promise. Speaking of there not being threats, Steph, you are up next.
Wow, lying to my face instead of God? Audacity. Hi, I'm Steph. I'm playing Lady Rhiannon, Duchess Rhiannon Serena Carewood, head of her house now. Gotta deal with her ghost dad, and she is the witch playbook. And we're gonna see how this goes.
I'm sure it's gonna go fine. I don't see how anything bad could happen.
Okay, sure. Remember what Q said? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lie to God,
Lie to God, not to me.
Not to him. Yep, I do remember him saying that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, speaking of not lying and never doing anything wrong, JT, you are up next.
What's up? I would like to be clear that I have never done anything wrong. My character, however, Queen Octavia Frostpin, the Fae playbook, has done several things wrong this season, including but not limited to releasing a prisoner of the crown, directly defying and giving orders to a member of the Wild Hunt, stealing Elise all the way to Winterberry, and abandoning Helix to the Wild Hunt for, well, we'll find out. Octavia is a Rami production facility this season because she is having every panic attack she couldn't have while she was living on the streets. So, let's get this bread.
I don't even have the words, JT.
That may be the realest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
Spent 2 whole seasons trying to kill the king, and now that she's actually done it, she has to, have trauma.
I'll make it this far, Era.
I thought I would be executed at the start of season 2, and here I am.
And here you are. And speaking of someone else who is experiencing the consequences of their actions, Raph.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raph. I don't know what JD is talking about because Carmen is truly living his best life. Let's review, class, okay? Carmen is super cool. Number 2, got the girl. Let's go. Can we get some W's in the chat for that? 3, only happy memories. Only happy memories here, gang. 4, gets to hunt daddy twice? And that's what I'm here to do today? I mean, the W's keep stacking up, you know what I mean? The wins keep coming for Carmen. And everything's great and everything is, I don't know. Oh, also Infernal Playbook, there you go. Right? That's correct. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
You don't know?
Who needs
what's a
to know
playbook,
what
you
their
know?
playbook is?
Listen,
It's
the
not
amount
the
of times
playbook, it's
I've
how you
rolled
play
on
it.
him on this show, I don't need to know. I just welcome it. Oh, actually, I do have one little surprise. There we go. That was it. No, I'm done.
They redeemed
night.
bad stuff.
I'm
They
so
sure did.
stressed. I'm so
They sure
scared.
did.
Carmen, what the fuck?
I
Raph?
hate Rhiannon.
Why are we like this?
I mean, we know why.
I mean,
Oh,
who
no.
knows? Because, there was that episode where I had, 3 different people redeem bad stuff, and I did absolutely nothing bad to any of you, because you did all of the bad
Yeah, Raph
things
was one of those too.
to yourselves. So,
I don't know why
If we
you're redeeming
guys,
bad
if we
stuff
make
on
the
this
stuff
game.
bad enough, JD
JD
will not do
won't
bad
use
stuff
it,
at us.
yeah.
All I'm saying is
I have failed so much, I now have 4
You can
advancements.
save that. There you go. You can save that for table 1 if you want.
Yeah, it's okay. We have bad stuff at home.
We got bad stuff at home.
Oh, you mean the Rammies table?
I mean, both tables are the
Table
Rammies
1 is
table.
getting some Rammies.
Not this. It's all W's over here, baby.
It's all W's, man.
All right. Well, with that, I suppose before I get yelled at, I will very quickly say hi. I am JD. You can find me on the internet at JD Not Jason Dean. I will be your storyteller for this evening, and I will be playing everyone else. And I was trying to consider who that might include, because this is Monsterhearts. And exactly who shows up, well, that's going to be up to all of you. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Mother Nyx cannot save you, and don't call her mother. Her title is seneschal.
She can't save
She
us, but
doesn't-
can she punish us?
She can't fix me, but she could make me worse.
Can make me worse.
Please punish Carmen. It's the only way to fix
Listen,
them.
I got permission. I'm here.
I'll take that. I'll take that under consideration, though. I think, Raph, the fact that you redeemed bad stuff means you can't experience this. The bad stuff is that you do not get to experience seneschal Nyx.
Graph barred from
Wait,
seneschal activities.
I fucking take it back, dude.
Maybe this will teach you not to redeem bad
It's
stuff
okay.
at your own table.
No take backsies.
I don't need these Rammies, JD. I'm about to get a whole
God.
fistful of Rammies to the face. I don't need these.
No, you won't. I'm here to protect you, BB. It's fine.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the brat table, apparently.
I've never done anything wrong.
We didn't have to say it.
And the reactions that are happening right now, especially Steph's face.
I would argue that Steph is perhaps the least deserving of that call out of all of us here. Steph is
I don't
perfect and has
know.
never done anything wrong in her life.
I don't know. You don't live with her.
Thank you. I feed you. Starve now, I guess.
God damn.
I love you.
This table's always a wild table to be back at.
My God.
All right. We're gonna take a moment. And then we're gonna dive right in because we have officially split the party. Which, as far as I am seeing, means that you have ruined your chances of having a double date, but you can now have separate dates. And that will be just as much fun.
Double Date Season 4. Get in the comments.
A season of double dates and shadows.
Who knows? I keep saying this is the final season, but I've said that every season, and I have yet to be correct. But today, where we begin in a space that we've been in before. We begin in Fairy. Not in the parts of Fairy that are the domains of the different courts. Not the ones that Octavia has visited since becoming queen. But we start in the part of the realm that Octavia has been in before, in similar yet different company. The part that is meant to be unchanging. The part of the realm that she went on a journey with her sister, Astrid, when the two of them found out about that relationship and that truth was revealed. And the part of the realm that you visited in the company of a person wearing the same face as the person you are with now. Someone who you believed to be Miss Elise Clarendon, though you did find out recently this was actually Emery of the Winter Court. Now, when one is in the spaces that belong to the courts in Fairy, it's not unlike how the world feels when you're in those spaces on the mortal plane. You feel the same chill of autumn, the bite of winter, the balm of spring and the heat of summer. But in the heart of Fairy, that's where things feel different. That's the place where the saturation is turned up to a level that both feels unreal and yet more real than anything else you've ever experienced. Where trees and foliage look and at moments feel metallic yet not. Where the grass looks sharp enough to cut, but is gentle to the touch. And this is the space in Fairy that belongs to no one, that no court can claim. It is unchangeable, and it is not governed by any season. And yet, just a few relatively short weeks ago, give or take, time is confusing here. That changed. The chill of autumn and the bite of winter both seeped into the land. And now the unchanging heart of Fairy is changed. The trees look like the trees on the mortal plane, decked in reds and yellows and golds, or bare of leaves entirely. The grass is faded and muted. There are even patches on the ground where grass once was. And in a way, when you look at this, when you see the way these changes have started spreading out, not just from the originating site, but moving through the heart of Fairy, it looks almost like a scar or a blight on the land. Not because damage has been done necessarily, but because the contrast between that and the true heart of Fairy is just so severe. When you step out into Fairy, Octavia, pulling Elise with you, I imagine that you expect to be in, or at least closer to, the realm that belongs to Winter. But no, you are stepping into a field. A field that once was just grass, but now in places is barren. And you can well enough recognize this space. You were not far from it when the three of you took that trek. When you found that wall of trees that reflected what you needed to see back at you. And it is shocking how much this space has changed since you last saw it. What do you do?
I think Octavia stumbles a bit after they get pulled through, before getting a sense of her surroundings, turning to Elise first. I'm so sorry. This is not exactly where I expected us to end up, but I don't know if I was really aiming for anywhere. I'm sorry.
I think Elise is sort of a little bit like a tourist. You can kind of see she's keeping it chill, but like behind the eyes you can see that she's like, holy shit. Just sort of looking around at everything. And then there's a bit of almost disappointment I think. Are we in Fairy?
Yes. This is the heart of Fairy, or it would be if I hadn't done yet another thing to ruin it.
Ruin
This
it?
is where Astrid and I found out that she was my sister. And this is where the unchanging was changed.
And you did that?
Not on purpose. Astrid let some of their magic go, and we needed to escape, so all I did was open a door. This is not how we left it.
No, but it is what you did.
I shouldn't have.
Without even trying.
Don't get me wrong, it was a great effort to bridge the gap between here and winter. But if I hadn't have done that, if I had just let them take me then, you would not have been in danger now.
Yes, but suppose I would be in danger a different way. And we wouldn't know that you had the power to change the unchangeable. It's quite impressive, Miss Frostpin.
It was never clear to me if it was unchangeable because we just didn't change it or because it couldn't be changed.
Even if the unchangeable of it is due to rules, I'm not so naive to not understand what those mean to you, to your people.
Right.
It's still quite the feat.
It is no great feat for me to break rules, it seems. I have to get you back. I took you away from London. I took you away from our friends who are expecting us, and that horseman. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me, but I will bring you back. I'll make this right.
I reckon this, in a way, is also making some things right. People think I've already been here, yes?
Yes, but this is not. That was not, and this is not how I wanted you to see my home.
Then show me. How would you like me to see it?
Jenny, if I look around, is the door still there?
It is not.
Okay. I'd rather not risk opening another door, so I suppose we should just find another way to winter. The Heart of Fairy doesn't normally look like this. I suppose the scarring effects of being touched by magic it wasn't supposed to be touched by is ever permeable effect.
We all have our scars. I suppose it's only fair that this place gains a few as well. Shall we
Jenny,
walk, then?
would I know how to navigate back to home, or in any case get home without ruining more?
Before I answer that, Octavia, I'm curious as you're gazing around at the heart of Fairy. How do you wish Elise was seeing it and experiencing it?
Um, Octavia, for as long as she was cooped up in winter, finds it very beautiful. The ground is almost always perfectly white, even when footprints have been tracked through the snow, and the trees are equally as icy and crystalline. I don't know if you've ever been in a winter where the trees just ice over and you can see the branch underneath a layer of ice, but that is um, what all of the non-seasonal fauna and flora look like in winter. It's very blue and white and pretty. The gray dull of winter is drowned out by the way that ice refracts light and makes new colors.
Octavia, I'm going to have you roll with dark.
Hey, come on now. It's not a horribly dark fairy. That is a 5 and a 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9.
And I think that all makes sense because as you're thinking about how you would want Elise to be experiencing this, there's a moment when everything you just described starts to happen around you. In this space that has already been marked and changed. And for a moment, you're not sure what the cause of this is. Because it's not like the last time when Astrid allowed themselves to express their emotions in a way that manifested itself across the landscape. It's not your moment of panic when you realized we need to get out of here before the wild hunt arrives. But you have had a hand in changing this space. You are connected to the other person who did as well. And most importantly, you are a queen. And what you want most right now is to allow Elise to experience this and to see the beauty of your home and the beauty that winter can provide. I'm going to ask you, before I tell you what happens next, what emotions is Octavia feeling in this moment?
I think, if I may take a little bit of the narrative of how this transformation moves, it originates at Octavia's feet with little flurries of snow blanketing the ground. At which point she starts to feel, at first, abject panic because she's not trying to do anything in this space is changing, and she already feels like she shouldn't be doing that. Before it continues to look more like home. And that panic turns into a mix of hope, fear, and curiosity as she spins on her heel to look at Elise.
And how does Elise respond?
I think Elise has been sort of watching this happen with this, like, with a curiosity, but this, like, slow smile. And I think she sort of leans in very close to Octavia's ear, as if speaking too loud will break it. Was this one on purpose?
I think Octavia blushes at that one. Because it definitely wasn't, but in the interest of honesty, it was not, but if I cannot bring you to Winter, then I suppose bringing Winter here is as good as.
I should still like to see the real thing someday. But I do like to see you believe that you are more powerful than you thought.
Titles and promises are everything here. And I made a promise to someone that I thought was you that I would much rather have made to you in the moment.
I understand that these things are important and also particular. If you thought it was me, does that promise remain to me, or is that to them?
It's to them. I would sooner break that promise for you.
Hopefully you will not have to. I understand the importance of these things now. I should like us to honor our own promises to each other.
Were it in my power, I would give you every promise under the sun that I could.
I think Elise glances up at the crown on her head. I think if it's within anyone's power, it would be yours. No? You are the queen, Octavia. And from what I've seen in my short time in London, you have all the power you could want. It looks good on you.
I didn't want this power. I had to have it because the people who would have it would have used it for the wrong reasons. The only thing I have ever wanted since coming to London was to see you.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting then.
Not your fault. A war kind of got in the way.
As these things are wont to do, it seems. But we're here now. And as I recall, time moves a bit differently here, yes?
Unfortunately so. I find it to be jarring and unpredictable, but I don't see why we can't take a stroll and see where this scar goes.
I do think I would like to see the scope of your work.
Your encouragement has me
Perhaps.
curious as well.
Good.
Octavia will offer Elise her hand. Shall we?
And Elise will absolutely take it. And I think instead of, going for the very chaste classic, hold the arm, etc., she just slips her fingers into Octavia's.
And I think this counts as activating your intimacy moves.
Yeah, it does.
I think it absolutely does.
Fortunately for me, that doesn't mean a whole lot right now.
Mine does, though. And I'm not...
Do it. Do it.
Do it, JT.
Do
it.
Yeah, sure. As they're walking, Octavia would stop briefly and turn to Elise. I know things are peculiar for you, but I'm feeling bold as I can right now. Would you like to go on a proper date when we get back?
I think Elise stops for a moment and is a bit contemplative than one might expect. Sort of glances down at their hands. And that very coy smile comes back. I think, should time permit, that would be lovely. I would hate to take you away from your queenly duties, such as they are. But I would not be opposed to being one of them. I believe you're muted.
My bad.
I'm so sorry, I was processing that it took me a moment.
Then come here to the ground, or maybe I did.
The thing about being a queen who is yet unmarried is that going on dates and socializing are queenly duties.
And I stand by it. I should quite like to be numbered among them.
Very well. When we get back, I promise I will set up a first date of all first dates.
I shall look forward to it.
You're muted, JD.
I didn't want to scream and shriek and everything else. As we briefly pan away from the two of you, as you are moving into the woods, what do we see on each of your faces?
No, you can go first.
Oh, great. Okay. I think on Elise there is There is genuine excitement, a little of that sort of coy, devious smile that she's kind of been wearing this entire time. That is kind of a frequent facet around Octavia. But I think as she glances away to sort of, take in the surroundings, this is her first time in Fairy, I think there's clearly a lot more going on behind her eyes. There's, you can see, there's math happening. There's a lot of pieces sort of falling into place, a lot of things to consider, a lot of processing happening. But every time she turns back to Octavia, it's that same coy smile.
And Octavia is awkward as ever. Her cheeks are a much darker blue as she internally is just like, I can't believe I just did that. I am a moron. But in a good way, for the record.
And I think it's interesting seeing both of those reactions as we leave the two of you to this walk for the moment, because you both have had so much weight put on you over the course of these past 2 seasons. You both have taken on responsibilities that are far beyond anything you were prepared for. And even now we can see, though there is still that connection that started back at the first party, back at those early meetings, back at those initial opportunities to get to know one another when you were both so much fish out of water, navigating London high society. That connection's still there, but you're both in very different places. And we're going to see when we come back whether these paths are in a place to intersect or diverge. And speaking of paths intersecting or diverging, we have an exorcism to get to. Back in the mortal realm, where everything is so normal and it's so fine.
Cute our Octavia and Elise moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just have to. Okay, interesting. All right, I just had to remind myself what your respective intimacy moves were, and how not great that would be if they were activated. They would not be great if they were activated, but that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it.
Who? Octavia and Elise's?
No, yours and Carmen's. Yep.
Oh yeah.
No, everything's fine.
Mine's not that bad.
Yeah, mine's not that bad either.
I wasn't looking at yours.
Mine's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at yours.
Of course you weren't. It's always Carmen.
Mine's fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah. I'm fucked. Okay.
Listen, just don't make out while exercising your father's ghost. It's fine.
But it's so hot.
JD, that's part of the ritual. Damn it.
It's literally it's in the scripture.
How are we going to finish the ritual if we don't make out a little bit? It's right in there.
It's literally there.
Yeah. It'll piss him off.
That's why we wrote the spell like this.
And so when we last left the two of you, Rhiannon, you were going to, was it the conservatory?
Yeah.
to try to get the leftover stores and fresh clippings of plants there, assuming it hasn't been fucked with. It hasn't been fucked with, right? Fuck you.
I was just thinking for a moment. I just wanted to consider a few options. What does the conservatory look like? Oh no, there is a baby. There is a baby. Oh.
Baby. Oh,
Ignore the baby, it's fine.
it is along the... Oh, sweet baby. It is along the... the back of the house. It is a glassed-in room. The glass walls are they're opaque, so they're not clear to see through. And oh my god, baby. As is the ceiling for privacy, but plenty of light still gets in. And it's warm enough that there's still some plants growing in there thanks to certain charms and the combination of the sun. But there are raised rows of potted herbs and flowers. More so herbs than flowers, because primarily the flowers are in the garden. But there's also a cupboard along the wall that is connected to the main house where dried herbs and jars are stored for when, backup reasons. It's very neat, very, very tidy.
And everything is untouched, Rhiannon. I am curious. I can hear those sorts of supplies that you can gather there. What about other supplies that you need?
Salt. I think it's fair to say they keep some in the cupboard in here, so it doesn't all get stored in the pantry for the kitchen. Rhiannon has taken to having a few vials of holy water in there ever since the incident with
I don't like that.
Azazel happened. It's a shame.
I
Since,
have a question for
especially
you.
since her wards or spells to protect against Asmodeus coming back have all been failing.
Yeah, Raph, what was that about a question?
Question for who?
Yeah, I'm just curious if the holy water is still in fact holy water. This is a question for JD. Is the holy water still holy water?
Oh no.
That's an interesting question.
Why wouldn't it be?
I'm just curious.
I think, Carmen, I want you to roll with dark.
Oh, spicy. Okay. Bouquet. Hold on. My box stuck. I got it. Okay, with dark and with my Rhiannon dice. Here we go.
Oh.
Everything's fine. I rolled 2 1s plus a 1 is a 3. So everything's fine.
Uh-huh.
As far as you know, it's still holy water.
Is it not? Well, I wouldn't be able to fucking tell, would I? Yeah, Rhiannon is putting some of that in her reticule that she still has, because, you know, he just ran in from the ball. She's grabbing rosemary, she's grabbing St. John's root, she's grabbing salt, fresh piece of chalk for any sigil she might need. It's just like, okay, I think I have everything. But if the office, if it's Prince Abraham in the office and that is a decoy, would it not make sense to remove the decoy first? So that way my father does not have additional help, because he's not expecting us to go for the office.
I suppose. Is there a way to banish Abraham? Should we just...
I mean, I could push him elsewhere. Just quick open a door, push him through it, get him out of the house at least.
My fear is that if we don't get to your father first, if Abraham were to cause some sort of commotion or warn him, perhaps it would be worse if we just, you know, surprised him, jumped him, as it were. We know where he is.
I can put a quick ward on the door to keep him from leaving while we deal with my father. Maybe we could get some answers from him after my father's been dealt with. Are you ready?
And whatever you need, I am ready to stand by your side and do this again.
Rhiannon takes that moment to just give Carmen a very tight hug. Just says, "Thank you for being by my side through all of this. I'm
Of course.
sorry he's come back, but I will ensure he does not bother us further."
And even if he did, I would do this endlessly. As long as I'm with you.
If you feel that anything is wrong, let me know immediately. We're in this together.
Of course. And same to you. If there's anything you need assistance with, or if we just need to leave,
Of course.
that's all right.
Thank you. Rhiannon just takes a deep breath to try to compose herself and just squeezes Carmen's hand very tightly. And it's just like, let's finish this then. I love you.
And are you? I don't have to eat him this time, do I? I don't think I can anymore.
No, you don't. I'm just banishing him back. No,
Okay.
I don't want you to. Your once was far more than enough.
He didn't taste very good, so I would do it, of course, but I don't need to then.
Carmen, you don't have to. Again, you don't have to eat my father again.
Of course.
We'll just head for the stairs to go up to her room.
Before we talk about that,
Oh boy.
I am curious, Carmen.
Oh boy.
Sorry, she does do what she says with Abraham's with the office door, and she does put a word
I'm gonna make you roll for that. Yeah, no, we're gonna talk
Watch
about
out.
Oh, you
that
are?
first.
Okay. Then proceed with what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. Okay.
Carmen, I'm curious what it is like when you recall that memory of what happened the last time with Rhiannon's father. And you're thinking back on it, and there's a part of you that knows, I didn't do that alone. I had help. But you don't remember who was there and who was helping. It's like there's this shadow inside of you. And you remember that being there, but you don't really know what that represents or means.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carmen, if he was focusing on that, the logical thought in his mind, if this was before Father Adams, then perhaps it was a blessing. And perhaps in reality, it doesn't matter because the job was done.
And I mean, it's like you said, you remember eating him and he tasted disgusting. So why does it matter if someone else was there?
Whoever they were, thank you.
They probably don't matter. And I think in that moment, just because your mind is sorting through all of that, you just feel the warm, comforting hand of Father Adams on your shoulder, just giving a gentle squeeze and letting you know that you can do this.
I think Carmen, he's holding Rhiannon's hand as she leads the way. And there's a moment that he instinctively touches his shoulder where he feels Father Adam's presence and takes a deep breath and I think closes his eyes for a moment and does a very quick, almost like says grace quietly to himself, and then opens his eyes and follows Rhiannon.
And Rhiannon, I know that you had said you were going to put essentially a ward on the door so that Abraham couldn't interfere. And so you make your way to your father's office where you were aware Abraham was. Roll with dark.
Okay. Let's see. What is that? I can math.
Your dark is +2.
A 9. Yep.
Actually,
I rolled. Yep. 9.
If you allow, JD, I want to do something to help Rhiannon.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 away from the 10, babe.
Yeah, let me look at the specific demands. I don't whatever Rhiannon is doing, it's clear that she's like getting there. But I think with that grace that he had said just moments ago to Father Adams, he is going to use Elsewise power and conjure up what is it called? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Mammon's Plaything. And I'm going to spend my string on Rhiannon and give them +1 to their roll. And I will say that if it becomes a 10, then I get to choose the results.
Raph, how can I say no to fucking any of that? Like, fucking incredible. The stacking.
Hey. This is not what I wanted Carmen
Can I
to learn
just
from
say-
Abigail. Oh god.
Hot?
How many strings does the
Don't worry about
I was
that stuff.
hot, but I'm gonna fight.
I think Carmen is watching Rhiannon with such intent, and fueling this energy that he feels from Father Adams, and that the constant feeling under his skin that has plagued him since 4 years, honestly, that he just wants to be good enough and equal to this incredible person in front of him. And I think there's this memory, this flash of Abigail's cutting words, constantly telling him why is not just Rhiannon enough. And I think using that frustration that he feels when he remembers that memory, he grips onto Father Adams, and as he kind of sighs, he realizes this is correct. This is why I have to do this to help Rhiannon. And so Rhiannon, yeah.
Carmen.
So I had 1, but I'm gonna let you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Carmen, I would like to tag team this a little because
Sure.
as you highlighted, you get to choose the outcome of this move.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, what does Carmen, thinking about their anger towards Abigail, thinking about those cutting words and remarks. What does Carmen want to have happen to Abraham?
That is a good question.
Because I'm going to suggest that I think
Okay.
you can tell me if this aligns. I think Abraham will likely no longer be in that office after you take this step.
Correct. I think through this inner kind of battle within himself of hearing Abigail's words, and where Abigail kind of creates this sense of doubt that he has in his faith in Father Adams and his faith in himself. And then on the other side, knowing that this power that he gains, this help that he gains from Father Adams, gives him the ability to help the person that he loves. I think he desperately wants to prove Abigail wrong. But unfortunately, in that burning anger, I think he wants to not necessarily hurt her, but make a statement to her the only way that he can, which is through her father. I will say, and this might be too much of a callback, but in the first season, Carmen got a glimpse inside of Abigail's memory, where Abraham chose her out of like a, I don't know, collection of orphans. I don't remember the specifics. I think what Carmen wants, other than to just banish Abraham, is to banish Abigail from his mind.
I'm so glad I asked you what you wanted to do, because I don't know that I could have gone to those levels. So my last question then is, as Carmen I'm gonna say helps with the spell.
Can hear you, Steph.
As Carmen helps with the spell, what does that look like, both in terms of what Rhiannon would see from Carmen, if anything, but also in terms of how the spell itself manifests?
I think visually, I imagine, and you can correct me, Steph, if this is incorrect, but I imagine Rhiannon has her hand on the door. As she's reciting the spell, for a while he just stands her, and then I think he just quietly, silently steps up next to her and puts his hand on top of hers, and his eyes begin to glow, not very, very brightly. There's like a subtle shine to them. And wherever Rhiannon sprinkled herbs or planted anything, there would be very small, warping, black, thorny vines. I think even perhaps like seeping from under our hands.
Hey, JD, quick question. Does it matter which hand Rhiannon has against the door? Does that affect things any? I'm not saying to undo this. It's not gonna fucking undo this mess. But if it's her scarred left hand on the door, does that add any flavor to this depression stew we're cooking?
Well, I think that's an interesting question. Is it that hand?
Yeah, why not? Make it spicy.
And so the two of you are standing there, Rhiannon's hand pressed against the door beneath Carmen's, those thorny vines starting to spill out and spill over. And Rhiannon, it's confusing because you feel the spell starting to work. Starting to. And then Carmen places their hand on yours, and you feel comforted. You feel the anchoring you need to put this ward on the door. And then you see and feel those thorny vines starting to manifest. And you feel that your magic is changing. And I don't think it's even instinctive, or that it's intentional. I think it's instinctive. That there just becomes this glow moving through and burning away those vines. And for your part, Carmen, you start to feel your hand burn in response to this. But not much, because that scar isn't only based on heaven, it's also based on hell. And those vines just start to multiply. Just as they're burning away, more and more come out and begin to cover the entire door, sealing it. And neither one of you can see what happens in that space beyond. But if you could, you would see the moment that Abraham comes back to himself. That his eyes, which have been glazed over and unseeing, focus. And then you would see him drop to his knees, his head snap back, staring at the ceiling. And right now we don't get to see the series of memories that move through his head before they are erased. But we know that they include everything ranging from the last interaction he had with Abigail, the one that set him on the path that has led to him being here now, because he no longer wanted to disappoint her. And going all the way back to the moment that disappointment started, when he created her, but he created her as incomplete. And then the floor beneath him starts to burn. And he drops through it and disappears. That is where we're going to take our break.
No. No, we're only an hour in. We can't do it.
I paid the cat tax. What is this? What the
We'll
fuck
be back
is
in 10
this?
minutes if I'm still alive.
Voice of God from from the ether.
Yep.
You know, I think
Escaping
it's
their
fine.
Oh.
Come on.
Is it a tater?
Is it
It
tater
is
it's
clock?
a tater.
It's fucking tater time.
Tater. Oh my god.
Let him roll the dice.
Yeah, right, buddy.
Oh.
I eat the dice.
Oh. Oh.
Let him crunch them for power.
Yes. Crunch.
I want to hug Tater so badly.
He just
mad.
looks
I don't
so
know if you
huggable.
see this, but like from scale, from my torso to just the size of him, he's massive.
That's why I want to hug
weighs
him.
14 pounds, and he's not overweight at all.
boy.
He's just really tall.
He's just so large.
Large. We love that.
A unit. Large.
Okay, now you're digging your closet.
Yeah, we love that. I'm like,
over.
what just happened?
Because he's perfect. Let him cook.
He's attacking me in my own home.
That's
Well, consider it's also
affection.
his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't know anything else.
He's perfect.
He's already forgotten the last apartment.
Oh, buddy.
It's okay.
Buddy.
It's good for him.
Let Bance and Tater meet.
I have to apologize. Bance would eat Tater.
That's probably true. And Tater would
I was
just cower.
gonna say.
Like, Tater's not a small cat.
And Bance is bigger than a lot of dogs.
Bance is a mid-sized dog. Bance is 25 pounds last I checked.
Just
she's
a solid
unwieldy.
10 pounds bigger than Tater.
It's almost 2 Taters.
It's almost 2 It's a
taters.
8.5-ish. 1.6
Americans will use anything except the metric system.
We have
That's like half a
another
Tate.
orange baby.
Hey, Sid.
Oh!
It's my boy. Hey, Sid.
This is the stream of
You see the
perfect
people.
boys.
Oh, you smell of meats. Oh, you had a snack.
You smell like
Sweet boy.
meat.
You consider
sees
that he's
people and
perfect.
He's upset.
They're not even here. The people aren't real. They can't hurt you.
We tell him that every time the TV's on. He still is yet to get it. Same
Doesn't
television his whole life. No threats, apparently.
That's where the people come from.
My baby.
Tater watches Invincible with me. Like he'll climb up onto my desk and sit with me and watch.
That's incredible.
He's perfect. And he's done nothing wrong ever in his life.
Well, that's not true.
No, that is absolutely true.
He's perfect.
Everything
He's
Tater
still a
does
criminal.
was... Yeah, and everything he's ever done has been entirely justified.
It's
But
true.
morally, sure, absolutely. I will grant you he's a morally ineffable person. He's a criminal.
He's been pardoned.
Sometimes crime is correct.
And he's been pardoned. So even if like he did do something wrong, it doesn't count.
The statute of limitations for cats is like, it's so low.
Maybe 2 seconds, give or take.
None of those charges will ever stick.
Believe me, I've tried.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Hello, Raiders. Welcome,
Oh my
Chaotic
God.
Hold'em. We are at a very
Perfect timing.
so many
Good luck.
emotionally devastating moments. So join us for a 3rd season of Secrets and Shadows, our Regency-flavored Monsterhearts game that focuses on romance and not emotional damage at all.
What do you mean emotional damage? We're going on a date. It's
We're having a cute
fine.
little date
There's an
somewhere we're not
exorcism.
supposed to
It's
be.
adorable.
Half the table's having a cute, sweet date with no rammies
The
yet.
rest of us are in fairy. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
Oh no.
If you hold hands, it's a date. No. Science.
If you hold hands while you erase the memory of someone's daughter from them, it's a date.
Only some of the memories. Only the vast majority of the
It's
memories.
not
Like
a
all of them?
date.
He still has the first one, right?
It was all of them.
It was
Oh, it was all of
everything.
them? It was also the first one?
Yeah.
I thought it was up to the
Carmen
first one.
said,
Carmen
Carmen
can't
said
confirm it was
all
all
of
of them.
them.
Carmen said all.
No.
It's like he's with us right now.
Fucking
I
hell.
can still hear
Still
his
hear his
voice.
voice.
I can still hear his voice.
Stop
Is
pulling
the
people
Carmen
I'm
in the
dead.
room with us?
Therapist Carmen Deloso isn't real. He can't hurt you.
So we're going to move away, though, from that emotional damage, and we're going to move back to Fairy. And so when we left Elise and Octavia walking hand in hand, you were following the path to the place where the magic of you and your sister Astrid, Octavia, changed the unchangeable heart of Fairy. I know I'd asked what we last saw on each of your faces, but as you move through the very unearthly is the word that comes to mind, though right now it's a little more disconcerting because it's that mixture of unearthly and earthly all at once in a way that is not meant to happen, where you see some of those metallic trees where it's literally half and half. Half what it was meant to be, half what it would be were it on Earth, and somewhere in between autumn and winter. Sometimes it's just clusters of branches. Sometimes it's just the actual leaves crunching under your feet. But as you go deeper and deeper, those changes become much, much more prevalent and pronounced. And I'm curious, and I'd like to start with Elise. I'm curious what Elise is thinking as they see the changes that Octavia has brought to the realm of fairy.
I think Elise's thoughts are a lot clearer, I think, than would be expected of, a mortal in fairy for the first time, etc. I think there's that initial like, holy shit, it's fairy, everything's weird. Things are slightly less weird than I guess I expected them to be, but that in and of itself is weird, so unsure how to feel about that. Realizing how much of this must have been the result of what Octavia did and law that comes with that. But that sort of awe and curiosity very methodically morphs into, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for the powers that are at play on the whole? And for better or worse, I think the underlying question here is, how can I use this? So Elise doesn't have a lot of in-depth understanding of how magic works, but she's been reading. And I think she has more of an understanding of how Barry works, the place, as much as it can be called that, and how, getting to and from it works, how it operates differently than the mortal realm. So she understands, I think, how the place works more than how what Octavia did to it works. So there's a curiosity of knowing how much power this must have taken and trying to, I guess, backwards engineer what that means for the kind of power that Octavia holds now. Mulling that over.
And there's a part of me that feels like perhaps this doesn't need to be said, though it also feels important to say, and I just have to ask. Elise has been focused on how to be able to reach an unreachable realm. And she is standing beside someone who not only has the power to open doors, but is wielding large amounts of that power in a way that's never been seen before.
Oh, she's very aware of that. The gears are turning, I think. I don't know that she's quite figured out what exactly that all means, how to play into all of it. But she understands, I think, the pieces that are on the table. The question now is just what moves to make with them. And that doesn't necessarily have to be done right now, immediately. It's good to keep up appearances when planning moves like that. And she's, for what it's worth, she is enjoying her time. She is having a very cute little date with a very good friend, potentially more. I think Elisa's having a good time.
In this moment, Elise, what are your intentions towards Octavia?
I don't think there have been any intentions lost, if that makes sense. She still cares for Octavia. She still likes her or whatever. But I think there's been, if anything, some intentions added. And I don't know that she entirely knows what all of those are just yet. But she's kind of, I don't want to say she's keeping her options open because that has a different connotation. But, she understands the, I don't know. She knows that, she thinks she knows where Octavia stands in all of this. And it has been a minute since they've seen each other. I think she's trying to evaluate if that is still the case. Because it is for her. She does still intend to be the friend, etc., that they had been. But I think there's room for more to happen there. And I don't think she's quite settled on what that is.
And what of you, Octavia, as you are walking hand in hand with Elise?
I think right now, after like the excitement of the situation has settled down, Octavia doesn't know what she's doing. And they're moving towards this inexplicable destination that Octavia could never possibly anticipate with someone they never expected to be in this close a proximity of after the party. And she is seeing things that she, for all she can tell, should never have seen or done.
What a lovely day!
Thanks, Raiders.
Thank you, Guild Superior.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the
Welcome to
raid.
party.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, friends.
Welcome to the emotional damage of our
What?
Regency-flavored Monsterhearts game.
It's fine. We're on a date. Everything's
fine.
normal. It's dubs all around.
Oh, literally a date and Ghostbusters. Like, what are you talking about?
What more could we want?
What?
There are no villain arcs happening anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it. It's so
Not
fine.
one of us is darkest self. Don't worry about it. We are
Not two of
fine
you are
and chill.
dark itself. At
Not
this
Not
point.
even two of us. Don't worry about
Everything's
it.
fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
But yeah, Octavia is happy to be with Elise, but isn't as naive as she was when she got here, and isn't sure that how little she knows about Elise is enough justification for the things that she's feeling. She's got some mild, very, very minor animosity towards Sovereign Micah for withdrawing the sovereignty's support, and she doesn't know where Elise plays into that. And there's still the matter of there's someone out there who faked being Elise, and Octavia doesn't know how she's going to react to that. She desperately wants this to work, but it is almost entirely overwhelming anxiety at the prospect of it working.
You two are in a very steady place for this date through Fairy.
We're so stable.
So stable.
We're just having a normal and cute one. It's fine. What could go wrong?
I just have a real casual question for each of you.
Okay.
What are each of you the most afraid of in this moment?
I think Octavia is most afraid of fucking up worse or being a worse person than Laszlo was with the power that she is now wielding. And she is scared that all of the choices that she's made, as impulsively as she made them, is going to drive her down that path.
I think Elise's fear currently is being backed into a corner. I think for so much of the first season, at least, and a bit before, Elise didn't have choices. She had the semblance of choices, but there was always the thing that needed done, and it was never a question of what would be done. So there was the guise of choice, but there never really existed any. And recently, she has wrangled the power to make choices for herself out of thin fucking air. And I think the biggest fear, the worst thing that she could imagine happening, is for that power of choice to be taken away from her again after she has clawed and scratched and gotten it for herself, finally. She's afraid of somebody having the power to make her do anything again.
And I think in that way, what happens next makes perfect sense in the ways that these pieces intersect, because as you step into the place where the combined magic of Astrid and Octavia changed the unchangeable heart of fairy, when we step into that clearing where there is still that reflection echoed back, you both see the same thing, but you see it from different angles. Octavia, you see yourself standing tall and triumphant. And you see Elise kneeling at your feet, begging you in a way that you have never seen Elise beg before. And you are standing both in this moment, watching this, and in this moment, experiencing this, knowing that if you give in to what Elise is asking you for, you don't know what the ramifications of that are going to be. And furthermore, why should you use this power in the way that Elise is asking you to? They don't understand any of this. This is your power to do what you want. And you are going to make the hard choices, because that is what it means to be a ruler. And Elise, you have come to that place of making the choice to ask someone you trusted, to ask a friend, to give up some of that control. And I think there's a recognition that you did not even mean to give up that control, because you had all of the pieces in place. This begging is more of an act than anything. It's pulling on those strings to Octavia. But she's standing firm. She's refusing. She's taking away that control and choice from you. Why would she do that? And you see that moment reflected back at you from all angles, before the mirrors collapse and shatter onto the ground, leaving the two of you standing there in the wake.
I don't think Elise looks at Octavia. I think she just asks, what is this? Did you do that on purpose?
That was all the heart of Fairy.
Is the heart of Fairy known to lie? I think there is fear in her voice.
I'm not like him.
You're not like who?
My uncle.
All I saw there was you and me. You telling me you're not like her?
I found out that Astrid was my sister because of these mirrors. But that is past information.
But there was truth in it. Yes?
The heart is an emotion-driven place. If there was truth in there, it was truth of fear. Truth of something, but not truth of myself. I'm not like him.
I think Elise does turn to her at that point, fully, like, bodily to face her, I guess. Your fear. Be like the ones that came before you, to be like the king.
To be someone guided to seek to upset the balance of things.
You're nothing like him, Octavia. And I think she reaches up, to do the up the cheek, but her hand sort of hovers next to the band of that crown for a moment. She doesn't touch it, but it's almost as if she's reaching for that for a second before she touches Octavia's cheek. You're nothing like him. You wear the crown. From what I understand of you, you wear this crown for the better of the people. You don't wear this crown for yourself. You told me that you didn't want it for yourself. You wear it because you know you're the best person to. Because you will make the kindest decisions for your people. Yes?
I don't even know if that's true. Every decision I have made since getting this crown has been selfish. I let Emery go because I didn't want to break a promise. I shoved you into Fairy because I was jealous of our huntsman. I left Helix behind.
I reckon Helix can handle themselves.
Yes, but it's just another plight in a long list of selfish choices I made at their expense.
Yes, but they're choices you made because you cared about something. Not because they were moves for power, not because they were some grand plan like Laszlo had to have everything. Yes, you've made selfish choices, but I think it's about time you did. You're making this grand gesture. If you wear this crown for everyone else, for their sake, I think you're allowed to do something for you.
I'm sorry, I find that hard to believe. Every choice I ever made for myself has ended in disaster. And I don't want what we just saw to be true.
It won't be.
You're right.
Because I know if it were asked of you, you would do the kind thing for your people. And remember, I stand by what I said. I number among them. You're allowed to be selfish, Octavia. I will give you that permission if you seek it from somewhere else. Because I know in doing the selfish thing for yourself, it will be in the best interest of the people. Because I know that that's what you want. I know that what you want would never hurt me.
And what do you want?
I am, as of late, made into a being of want. That is a difficult question. I think now I want to fix this. To fix what's broken between the realms or the planes. I want to bring balance back, like you did, like you are still doing. You brought balance to Fairy. I want to fix the balance between Fairy and everywhere else. Is that not what you want as well?
I want more than anything for balance to be restored.
Maybe the trees know not what they speak of then.
No, I think it best I stop putting my hands on things that aren't mine.
I think perhaps it's time for you instead to claim the things that you want. There are two ways to solve that problem. You're allowed to be selfish, Your Highness.
Not yet.
Ever the patient queen.
There's lots to fix first.
We should probably get started, yes?
Yeah, speaking of JD, I can exert my will over this land to some extent. Can I take it back?
I would like you to give me a roll, and I'm going to say with dark.
Okay. Dice, do not fail me now, even though it would be super funny and interesting. There we go. That is 6 and a 3 plus 1 is 10.
I love that so much because a couple of things happen back to back, though Octavia, you are the only one who experiences them all. There was a moment in that conversation with Elise where it was right after you said that piece about not putting your hands on things that don't belong to you. And you had this moment of thinking, strangely, of thinking of that moment with you and Astrid, where you gave them comfort as their emotions rippled out, starting the path that led to all of these changes. And you can almost see yourself embracing Elise, carefully guiding their face up, pressing your lips against hers. And how that could have radiated out, that could have created this change. But no, maybe that would have made things worse, because it was that emotion stretching out that led to this to begin with. What if everything just became winter here? What if it wasn't the right time? What if it isn't the right partner? And you don't know the answers to that right now. But that's okay, because you know that even without that decision being made, that action being taken, you are connected to all of these changes. And you can draw both the chill of autumn and the bite of winter back into you. You can take all of that and remove it from the land. And it's almost effortless.
Can I add like a tiny little detail once this is all sort of resolved?
Absolutely.
Octavia's hair has always been snow white, like fundamentally snow white. But my sister was here too, and it would be rude if I didn't leave some connection to her within myself, drawing in her power. So I think there is, hanging down from the front of Octavia's head, a single, like, red like not like a strand, like a single strand, but like a small ringlet red hair.
I love that so much. There is a third thing that happens as well as Octavia draws in these powers and, yes, does hold perhaps just a remembrance of her sister. Perhaps something more. We'll have to see. But those shards of almost glass that had come from the shattered trees when that mirror image broke apart, they start swirling and swirling around the two of you, far enough away that there's no danger of being harmed in any way from them. But as you withdraw that last bit of autumn and winter from the unchangeable land, those shards of glass solidify into a mirror. And we're going to see what you walk into as you pass through that pane of glass when we see what's happening back at the Carewood estate with this exorcism. And I'll let the two of you know when you arrive.
That's all right.
Okay.
Oh, they're coming here. Oh no. Okay.
And so where we left Rhiannon and Carmen, that door to the office had just been sealed with dark, viney thorns.
Mm-hmm.
What happened beyond, one of you knows, but I think before we give Rhiannon a chance to react, we're gonna tag team this once again, Raph, because I'm curious.
Wait, can I actually get confirmation? Would Carmen actually know what happened? Like that what he wished for came true?
He would.
Okay, cool. I just wanted confirmation.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Super.
So I have some thoughts on this, but again, I want us to bounce some ideas off each other here, Raph.
Yeah, let's go.
What do you think we see when we look at Carmen? In what ways have they changed? Because I'm gonna just throw one thought out there, and it is that I don't think this is a reaction comparable in this moment to the one described by the character sheet. I don't think you are feeling alone,
Correct.
needy, or shivering.
Nope. Yeah.
I think you are feeling more powerful than you ever have. So
yes.
I just wanted to put that out there, and we're on the same page.
No,
so
you got it
100%.
You got it 100%. Like Mr. Blue Sky starts playing in the background. Like, I think the physical changes in Carmen are not are very subtle. If you didn't know him, he would look normal. He doesn't look necessarily like completely out of sorts. I think you see there is an air of clarity around him. He didn't realize that he was slouching a little bit, and now he's standing much taller. He holds his head up very high. And I think everything about him just oozes calm and confidence. And I think there is a smile that appears on his face that takes up his whole mouth. It is the biggest smile he's ever had.
I would suggest maybe a little too wide and a little too big.
Love that. Yes, it's definitely not his normal smile. I think other than that, there's almost a glow to him, right? There's not necessarily a literal glow, but when you look at someone and there's just a power to them that is reflected off of Carmen. I think how many teeth? What is the normal? 32 is the normal. I think the only strange detail, and it would be hard to see, it's easy to miss, is that starting from his fingertips, there is those same black thorny vines crawl up his body, almost like strange tattoos. But as he's kind of wearing clothing, it's not very obvious. I think the most you would see would be like the tips of his fingers they look almost as if they've been shoved into wet earth. Yeah, but other than that, he's glowing. Listen, he doesn't have to wear clothes.
How does Rhiannon react to all of this?
Rhiannon is very watching the vines come out from under their joined hands and feeling the magic. She could tell it wasn't her magic and just was very confused because suddenly what was happening was not how it was supposed to happen. And turning and seeing Carmen like that, she actually steps back. Not that there's much space, because Carmen's directly behind her. And it's just like, what? Carmen, what happened? Are you all right? What did you do?
I don't know. The power just, I saw that you needed help, and I helped.
I appreciate that, and I know I know we've looked at some of the magic and spellbooks together, but I didn't. When were you practicing to this extent?
I guess I just have a good teacher.
You're okay? You don't.
Rhiannon,
You don't seem
genuinely never been better.
I want to get rid of my father, and then I want to make sure you're okay. Are you okay with that plan?
I'm ready to deal with your father, but I am telling you now that I am more than okay. I feel like I can see things better than I've ever been able to. Everything seems so clear, so easy.
That's fascinating. JD, do I feel Abraham's presence behind the door at all? Am I feeling anything from that room?
You're not, but you're not sure if that's the ward or something else. You would not know for certain that Abraham was gone. You would just know that you're not feeling anything beyond that wall of thorns.
I think Rhiannon puts a pin in that for later and reaches for Carmen's hand and then notices the black. And she's like, what happened?
I think he closes
what
the
is this? Does it hurt?
Rhiannon, no, nothing hurts. Nothing can hurt.
She kind of squeezes his hands in hers and is okay. I think we should get rid of my father and then we can try to understand what type of magic this was. But Abraham seems to be out of the way for now, so let's
He is.
to my room then. Put a pin in that also for later.
That sounds lovely.
I'm very sure of that. Okay, let's go upstairs. Rhiannon's just... I'm gonna make a keep your cool roll.
You sure are.
Why not?
You sure fucking are.
Yeah, this is not right. That smile is too big. That's a, what is my, it's a 4. I'm scared of my boyfriend.
What? No.
It's a 4.
All right.
Oh wow,
All
more
right.
XP for me. Oh boy.
I'm delighted for that. That is great, and we love that for you.
Fight me. Okay.
What are you afraid of, Rhiannon, in this moment?
This moment, Rhiannon is afraid. Well, she's always afraid that Azazel is going to come back when she is not expecting it and try to take Carmen from her again. She is afraid that whatever magic Carmen taught himself might have not fully done what he wanted when he was helping her, that some part of it might have gotten ensnarled within them somewhere. And she's afraid it's going to make him vulnerable both to the demon and to her father's ghost.
Rhiannon, I'm curious in this moment, as this panic is welling up, and as you realize the hallway that you're standing in is starting to become very, very, very cold, colder than it already was, as those icy tendrils wrap around you. I just need to know, are we in fight, flight, or freeze?
Am I feeling something wrap around me, or is it just feeling cold?
It's a little bit of both. It is as though there is something there that's tangible, but it's not as though you are seeing something that is grabbing you, or there is a sense like, I'm about to be pulled by this. It is, though, a sensation of...
Can I get a...
I would say with the fear you're experiencing, no. I need to know instinctively what the response is.
I think because of the situation, and she knows her father's ghost is loose in the house, Rhiannon's panic goes to, my father's coming closer, we're caught off guard, and goes into fight to protect herself and Carmen.
What does that look like in this case? What does she go to do?
She immediately clocks the stairs to see if anything is coming down or coming through the walls in the immediate area. And if she's not seeing anything, she is going to just book it for the stairs to get to her room, because if this is her father's power, then he's trying to do something, and she's not going to let anything hurt them. So she's already grabbing for the salt. She still has the rosemary in her hand from the ritual she just did, and she is just booking it for the stairs. She's not going to deal with her father anymore.
Carmen, in a few moments, I'm going to have Father Adams pull the first of those strings on you, but I want to know, before that happens, seeing Rhiannon run, seeing that they are in a state of panic, you can tell she's not thinking clearly at all. What do you do?
I think there is a moment where I think the first feeling that comes to Carmen is honestly it's probably a mix of frustration and confusion. He's watching her run away, and there's with that sense of panic, and I think he starts questioning whether she truly understands that this is good and that this is good for them and that this is good for him. And why can't she see that? And does she still not trust me? And I think while he's entangled with these emotions, I think for a little while, he just watches her run away. There's a moment where the frustration takes over. And I think he says, or he says to himself, if you don't trust me, if you don't want this power that I have to offer you, to help you, that I do for you, then let's see you try to do it on your own. And then there's a moment where he realizes what he's feeling, and that sunshine turns back on. And then I think he slowly and very calmly walks after her.
May I add one more thing to that, Raph?
Of course. Absolutely.
Why? Why?
I think that shift for Carmen happens because, and it's strange because the way you've talked with Father Adams before, it has felt like everything from a meeting of the two of you to his presence right there, whispering in your ear, offering you guidance and comfort. And you realize in this moment, though I don't think it matters, now he's speaking from inside of you. And you feel that same warmth and comfort, but it's like a glow in your chest because he's offering you that reassurance directly, and he's letting you know everything is going to be okay. And he assures you, my son, it's not that Rhiannon doesn't trust you and your gifts. It's that they do not trust themselves and their gifts. And we can help them with that. We can make sure they do not go down a bad path. They just need guidance, like I've given you guidance, my son.
Thank you, Father. I almost lost myself for a moment. You're right. I have a promise to her. We will guide her.
And you follow Rhiannon up the stairs to her room. And I imagine, though Steph can tell me if I am wrong, that we see Rhiannon starting to put those pieces of the spell together, that we see them scrawling on the floor, that we see her preparing for battle. And I am going to ask you, Steph, how does Rhiannon react when they recognize that Carmen's presence has joined her in the room? Or does she even notice?
She kind of, I think she does notice when she feels that someone else is in the room, and she starts to turn, but then recognizes, oh, it's just Carmen, and says, stay behind me. I'm not going to let him hurt us.
And Carmen, I imagine that you go to stand behind Rhiannon. Father Adams says to you, look at her. She is so erratic. Those aren't even the right sigils. They have no idea what they're doing, but that's okay, Carmen, because that's why we're here. And for you, Carmen, this next moment is both something you feel you are almost intentionally doing and something that is wholly out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
As you lower one hand to your side and reach in somewhere beyond and pull out a collar. One that you remember quite clearly because it was placed on you.
Holy shit.
And Father Adams says, "It's all right, Carmen. This is how we protect her from herself."
I think Rhiannon is scribbling out the runes on the floor. And
I'm panicked and I'm trying to get this so I don't recognize the threat behind me.
Carmen leans down, puts one hand on her back, and he gets very close to her ear and says, "Rhiannon, I'm always right behind you, but it is I who will be protecting you." And then I close the collar around her neck.
There's no roll I can do, is there? No danger sense, no nothing, because I'm panicked, because I had to roll keep your cool.
And
am I allowed
Rhiannon,
to respond, or are you still going to do something?
You're allowed to respond.
What do I feel?
No, you're allowed to respond.
Am I? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can
initially,
still respond.
just feeling Carmen's initial hand on their back, Rhiannon just kind of takes a steadying breath and keeps going with the spell, and she's almost got it and she can fix this, and then hears him whisper, and she pauses, but before she can ask anything, she feels something around her throat click closed, and she immediately just grabs and just like, what is this? Carmen? And just spins around immediately. Just, Carmen?
Rhiannon, it's all right. This is to help you.
It
I
feels
promise.
all right.
Tell me this is not what I think it is.
You.
When he says this feels all right, it does feel all right.
I'm gonna kill you. What does it feel like? Numbing? Calming?
It feels calming. I would say calming more than numbing.
What is this?
Carmen,
I need to finish the spell.
The spell, your father, it has no importance over you. You are the most treasured item. And I will protect you.
Item? Not an item, Carmen.
Rhiannon.
I'm your paramour.
Of course.
I need to finish the spell, okay?
Rhiannon.
I need to get rid of him.
Rhiannon. If you keep going, you're going to break. And I can't have you shatter. I won't allow it.
Can I gaze into the abyss? I try to reach for my magic. What do I feel?
You can't access it. It's like you've been cut off.
Carmen, I need you to take this off of me. Right now, I can't feel my magic. So please take it off, and then we can discuss
I know how it feels.
how to protect each other after I get... Yes, that's why I'm confused right now!
Back then, that was with ill intent when they put it on me.
No, it wasn't.
This, Rhiannon,
It was
this is for your
misguided.
own good.
You don't get to decide what's for my own good, Carmen. You don't get to cut me off from my magic that's a part of me because you think that's for my own good. And where did you get your magic from? Is he back?
I can't have you breaking, Rhiannon.
Is he back?
These spells, everything that's going on, I just want to protect you. And I will. I swore an oath. I won't break it. And I know that you don't necessarily agree. But I promise, I do this because I love you.
And I think in that moment, Carmen, again, it's that same feeling of you and not you doing this. But you see the spectral image of Rhiannon's father in the corner of the room where he's been all the time, not making any movement towards you, not doing anything, and you are certain that is because he witnesses and understands your power. That even though he has been here and able theoretically to take action, he has not said a word, he has not moved a muscle. He has just watched, and it isn't even with a look of cruelty towards what is happening to his child. It is, I was going to say impassive, but no, it is somewhere closer to blank. Like a puppet.
Oh.
And you reach out your hand, making sure that Rhiannon now clearly sees that their father is there. And you say, "See, he can't hurt you anymore." And you snap your fingers, and he crumbles into dust.
I will protect you, Rhiannon. And I will show you.
You You did this. You tricked me?
Tricked? No.
You lied to me? You tricked me? You brought me here to put a collar on me? You used my father's ghost to frighten me?
No, Rhiannon, you have the wrong idea.
She's
Your
misunderstanding
father-
you all over again.
What did you...
She doesn't see any of this clearly.
Rhiannon, you...
What did you do to Prince Abraham? Is he still in the office?
No, why would he be? We banished him together.
Where I wanted to... I was trying to keep him there to question him after I got rid of my father. Where did you send him?
I don't know. Rhiannon,
What did you do to him?
What's important is that you are safe. That is my goal. I've been watching you since we've heard from that your father's ghost has returned. And you've not been yourself. You've been afraid, and I became worried for you. You were fracturing. And your father, his ghost, he was going to tear you apart. He wasn't even a threat.
So you decided to tear me apart instead?
No.
When I trust you the most? When I love you the most?
You were lightning in a bottle, Rhiannon. And you were going to explode. I just had to put the cap back on for a moment so that you wouldn't hurt yourself. You will never be hurt.
I don't think I've ever felt more hurt in my life than I do in this moment.
I don't...
And Rhiannon runs.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because Rhiannon...
Oh, it's bad! Oh, it's real bad for me!
You start running, and you make it maybe 2 steps towards the door before a voice comes out of Carmen that, in this moment, loses any pretense that it is Carmen, and just says the word, stop. And you do. And that is the moment that Elise and Octavia walk in on. The sight of a ritual that has clearly not been completed. Rhiannon frozen in place. Carmen's hand outstretched to them. And a look of terror and hurt and pain on Rhiannon's face. And that's where we're going to pick up in 2 weeks.
Oh, come on now.
Hey, real quick, JD, fuck you.
Also,
Is it
not
2
2
weeks? It's not 2
like
weeks.
a
It's longer.
Oh, it's not.
It's gonna
like
be a month. We
Yeah,
don't-
no, you're right.
Hey, JD, remember when you scheduled this? We don't play in May. Our table doesn't do shit in May. You remember that thing that you did to us? Your friends who you love?
We could come back in 2 weeks, huh? Right? Like, you know, just like
I'm
a couple extra episodes.
Yeah, we
literally like shaking.
Listen,
Hey,
you know
we're a
what?
double date again.
Maybe we are back in 2 weeks. We'll talk about scheduling. Maybe we won't make you be on pause for a solid month. But everyone, as you have a chance to take a breath and process, go around and remind people of who you are and how awesome you are. Let's breathe through our outros. Let's all just take a moment and recognize the normal time that we've had tonight.
I literally can't stop taking
Keep using that word.
What the fuck?
Same.
Anyway, everything's fine.
Okay, all right. Everything's fine. We're having a regular one. Everything's chilling fine.
Everything's chilling fine. Everything's really,
I was
really
gonna
good.
say, Kit, how is your heart rate?
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Everything's feeling normal. I am purposefully not looking at it. Don't worry about it. But I don't know. Can't hurt me.
I don't think that's how the body works.
That's how
but
Lisa's
we'll
living
accept
right
it.
now.
I don't think that worked out for Rhiannon, did it? Rhiannon's case, everything she didn't know hurts her
not
quite a
being
lot.
physically harmed.
Listen,
It's true.
I'm protecting you.
You're doing such a good job, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
It
Father
deserves
Adams
all
is gonna give you a
loves.
gold star.
I'm gonna cut Carmen's hand off.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
It's
gonna be a
about to
great
be
time.
single.
an
Oh, no.
experience. All right, Kit, I'm gonna have you start.
I have no powers.
Let's do outros. Remind people of who you are, why you're awesome, where they can find you, and the cool stuff you're doing.
I have to remind myself who I am real quick. Just a second. Holy shit. Okay. All right. We're good. We got it. How are y'all doing in the comments? Good? I hope so. Hi guys. I'm Kit. You can find me places at Kit Roll, sometimes at Kit Roll Cause if we're on a website that hates us a little bit. Oh man, where even am I? I am not prepared for the end of what just happened. Oh god. Aside from being traumatized by JD on a usually bi-weekly basis, you can find me over on High Shelf Collective every other Wednesday, where we're doing a little zesty Beacons game, Beacons of Farlight, run by somebody here. I'm sure I'll let them talk more about it. It's a delightful little game. Playing a little shapeshifter. They're a delight. Everything's fine. I'm eating all of my emotions, not in the way that you'd expect. You'll have to watch to find out what that means. Every other Thursday, for one, perhaps two more Thursdays, we'll see. You can find me over on Entropy Emporium in Project Reach Extraction. It is a beautiful little cypher game where I'm playing an arena fighter. We're doing a heist inside of the internet. If you like dot hack, if you like cyberpunk, if you like stuff like that, it's a vibe. It's a great time. Let's see. Every other Saturday, typically over on Lost Caravan, we are playing a funky little fabulous Ultima game called Fatal Ascension, where I'm a little robot, and we're having also a normal one over there. And I think that's all I can legally say without going into massive explanations of what's happening. If you like JRPGs, check it out. It's a delightful little time. The thing that I am brain rotting about constantly, all of the time, if you like magical girls, if you like queer stories, if you like tragic little nonsense, if you liked Madoka Magica, I'm looking at y'all, check out Bloom and Blight. It is our Go by Moonlight actual play podcast. We are wherever you get your podcasts. If it's not there, let me know. I'll put it there. That's a threat and a promise. If you want episode announcements, clips, things like that, you can find us basically on all of the socials at Bloom and Blight, all spelled out. And for cast and character information, transcripts of all of our episodes, and a link to our zesty little Discord server for the podcast network, you can go to bloomandblight.com. We've just recently come back from our sort of mid-season hiatus with some wild episodes. I'll leave it at that. This is some of our most ambitious work yet. It was a beast to edit, and hopefully also a beast to listen to. But you can check that out wherever podcasts are checked out. I'm gonna go cry about this episode real quick. Who's next, Steph?
Yep.
Hi, it's me. Hi, welcome to Rhiannon's horror movie. We just switched genres a little bit. I've been Rhiannon, the witch playbook, which she cannot access now. You can find me in this game whenever we come back with however many episodes, I guess, we come back every other Saturday. You can also find Table 2, who calling themselves Table 1, every other Friday at LFTA. You can also find me every other Thursday at LFTA in Redacted, where I'm full of so many ghosts. Got my full set. Can't wait to whip them out after the violence that just occurred in front of me. And you can find me every other Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, in fact, if I'm remembering right, at Entropy Emporium, where I play in They Call Us Villains, JD's totally normal and chill horror masks game, where I play Scylla. She has superior teeth. She's the doomed. She's so sweet. I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen to her ever in her life.
It's not allowed.
She's done nothing wrong ever and doesn't deserve anything.
It's true.
No, it's not. Would you want to make Connor cry again if something happened to his friend?
That was uncalled for. And because it was uncalled for, I'm going to move to JT.
Was
Whoa. Don't use me to intersect your game drama. Speaking of game drama, hi, I'm JT. We cheat all over the internet. You can find me here on Lost Caravan, on High Show Collective, and on Entropy Emporium, where we have a bunch of cute little shows running right now that definitely have nothing weird going on. Every other Wednesday, you can find me on Lost Caravan, playing Caldwell in Nova, who's having a bad time. And then on the other Wednesday, I'm making my players have a bad time in Beacons of Farlight, my Beacons actual play set in a post-apocalyptic gross punk 40K inspired planet. They are having a bad time. They're going to continue having a bad time, especially because I've just written a very fun reveal into the story before the end of it. You can find me here whenever we come back, be it that we bully JD into more episodes or not. Eventually, I'll be back here as Queen Octavia Frostpin. I am Orca OS on Project Reach Extraction, on Entropy every other Thursday for the next 2 episodes. And then Entropy, we got a bunch of little shows. We got a Minecraft thing that we stream, and then They Call Us Villains, Project Reach Extraction. We're also going to have a Girl by Moonlight game coming up that is Neon Genesis Evangelion coded, run by Will. It is very exciting. We're all very stoked about it, and we're all very feral about it now. And then I'm running a D&D game over on Entropy as well that is coming up eventually. And someday, soon, in a theater near you, there will be an Invisible Sun game on our channel, which we are having a normal one about, I think. Let's see. Is that everything? Is that my spiel? I can't think of anything else, so I'm going to pass it on to Raph.
Hey guys, I'm Innocent, and what do I got going on? I played Carmen tonight, the Infernal playbook, and also the Good Boy playbook. And what usually every other Saturday. Yes, okay. Got my days mixed up. Usually every other Saturday, I'm here for Class Reunion, which is the other game I'm in, Homebrew, 5e, D&D, Found Family, Isekai. I'm trying to include other tags in there. Gay, very gay. Also heartbreaking. Also sad. Also, some very sad stuff happened last session that we haven't faced the repercussions for yet, and it's gonna be hard. But it's fine because my character is currently inside the body of their.
Yeah, just for fun. Rip it, baby.
Thank you.
Down, dude. Yeah, dude.
It's basically currently inside the body of their crush, and then it's fine. Other than that, I'll be back here whenever that is. And we'll probably bully JD for more sessions. And Yeah, everything was really cool tonight, and I had a really good time. So I hope everyone else had too.
And yes, Raph, it was so very clear that you were delighted. Again, I didn't really have to use bad stuff because you all did that to yourselves. And it was so much fun to get to witness.
I didn't do it to myself.
Oh, I wasn't putting that responsibility on you, Steph. I was putting that on Raph.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, I am going to round us out with the outros because I know a few of us have another session to jump into in not too long and should probably eat and stretch. And I should also check in with all of my players before we do that. So, with that, I do a lot of things. I'm not going to list them all. Most of them are on LFTA, but that isn't really true anymore because I can also be found on Entropy Emporium running They Call Us Villains. Also, maybe going to be a player in that Invisible Sun game that was mentioned. Who knows? We'll have more about that at some point in the future. I can also be found with The Lost Caravan every other Wednesday for Nova, and I can be found with Exquisite Corpse Presents for Sister Cities every other Saturday, as well as in Class Reunion, Academy H, Never Ember's Enigma. I think that's the 3 games that I'm in. I feel like I'm missing something. Anyways, those are probably the 3 games I'm in for Live from the Apocalypse. I can't count anymore. There's like 9 games floating around in total. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I run and play in a normal amount of games, and I also sleep a normal amount. And don't give me that look, Steph, and everyone knows that. Don't give me that look, kid. And Raph and JT, you're fine. Your looks are fine.
Who's
But
to
I-
define normal, truly?
More than 5 hours. More than 5 hours is a normal amount. I got the most sleep, I think, of anyone here today. So, like,
8?
You might be right about that.
I got a lot of sleep.
That wasn't
It
my
just
fault.
circled back
Nancy wouldn't let
around
me go to
being
bed.
tired.
I resent these baseless accusations.
I've done nothing wrong.
Neither have I.
being,
Slander.
I am being attacked by everyone all at once. That's fine. It's fine.
You're being attacked.
What else do I have to do before we find someone to raid? I want to remind you that we have a whole lot of socials. You can find them here. You can keep track of what is coming up and any schedule changes / new games / big events that we're doing, all of that fun stuff. You can also join our incredible Discord, which has so much unhinged content. In fact, if you enjoyed this game, you could enjoy the incredible art that Raph made of what would happen if these characters
Don't talk about that art.
were Muppets. So
Oh
that's
my
something
God.
that
It needs to be
Discord
updated. It needs to be updated.
Terrifyingly accurate.
What do you mean updated? What are
It
you
is
gonna add a quality
heinous.
Rhiannon? You
So
you freak.
good.
At a quality Rhiannon.
I thought he just meant drawing Father Adam.
Some hair
Change
dye
Carmen
to
to Darker
Octavia.
Self. Yeah, add the hair dye to Octavia and Elise.
I'm normal. I'm having a regular one.
Elise is
I've been entirely predictable this
episode.
episode. Don't worry about it.
Elise is playing 4-dimensional chess with her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
a little bit.
I'm protecting you all, and I love you all so much. And that is a real thing.
exactly. Thank you. You understand.
We'll talk.
No.
I understood you up until a point. We'll see.
I think of the Muppets, Dorian's is my favorite because he's just so happy to be there.
He's just happy to be included.
Yeah.
He's just happy to be there. Listen,
He
got
killed
to
God. He's
cut
great.
God, so, yeah, he killed God. He's good.
And so, yes, if you like unhinged art and unhinged conversations about art and memes and incredible pictures of food and pet pictures and all of these other things, you should join our community and get to participate in some of the conversations that unfold when we talk about games and sessions like this. But I know it is late for some of you. I know others of us will need to hop off soon. So with that, cast, before I go find someone to raid, say goodnight to everyone.
Good night,
Good night, everyone.
Night,
Sleep
Rhiannon.
tight.
Good
Don't
night,
worry.
everyone.
Good night.
Wow, good night, Rhiannon. Real
Good
ominous
night,
now.
Rhiannon.